Some stories feel like they belong in horror films, but this one is chilling because it's real. A young woman checks into a Los Angeles hotel with a history darker than fiction. Days later, she vanishes. And when police release the last known footage of her, the internet explodes. It's a video so unsettling, so bizarre that even now, over a decade later, it continues to haunt millions. This is the story of Elisa Lam, the Cecil Hotel, and the mystery that refuses to rest. Los Angeles, January 2013. The city buzzed with its usual restless energy. Skyscrapers gleamed under the California sun, streets pulsed with traffic, and dreams and shadows mixed in equal measure. Among the thousands of travelers who flowed in and out of the city that month, one stood out, not because she wanted to, but because fate made it so. Her name was Elisa Lam. 21 years old, the daughter of immigrants from Hong Kong, Elisa was bright, curious, and deeply introspective. She studied at the University of British Columbia, but she wasn't just another student checking boxes on a degree plan. She wrote, she thought, she felt. She posted her thoughts online, on Tumblr mostly, leaving behind pieces of herself in the form of words that still echo today. Travel was her way of shaking off the heaviness that sometimes clouded her mind. She had battled depression, anxiety, and the weight of bipolar disorder. But she refused to let it define her. So, in early 2013, Elisa boarded a train in San Diego and made her way north, her eyes set on Los Angeles. Her destination was one of the most infamous hotels in America, the Cecil Hotel. From the outside, the Cecil looked ordinary. Old brick, tall windows, a faded charm of the 1920s. But its walls carried secrets, and its history read like a catalog of nightmares. Suicides, murders, overdoses. The Cecil wasn't just a hotel. It was a magnet for darkness. Elisa checked in on January 26th. She was assigned to a shared room at first, but her roommates complained. They said she behaved oddly, left notes on their beds telling them to go away, and sometimes locked the door from inside, refusing to let them in. Hotel staff eventually moved her to a private room. It was the first sign that something wasn't right. But nobody knew just how wrong things were about to get. By the end of January, Elisa had been in Los Angeles for several days. She explored bookstores, coffee shops, and landmarks. She posted about her adventures on Tumblr, writing in her own quirky, poetic style. She even visited a local shop called The Last Bookstore, one of the city's most famous literary havens. But on January 31, 2013, Elisa vanished. She was supposed to check out of the hotel that morning. She never did. Her parents, who spoke with her almost daily, grew alarmed when she didn't call home. They reached out to the Los Angeles Police Department, and soon the search began. Officers combed through the Cecil. They brought in dogs. They searched hallways, rooftops, and even some of the water system areas. But they found nothing. Elisa was gone. Then came the footage. On February 13th, police released a surveillance video to the public, hoping someone might recognize her. What the world saw was unlike anything they had ever expected. The footage was time-stamped February 1, 2013, just a day after Elisa was last seen. The camera, mounted inside an elevator at the Cecil Hotel, recorded something haunting. At first, Elisa steps inside calmly. She presses multiple buttons, then waits. But the elevator doors don't close. She peeks out into the hallway, then quickly retreats. And then, it gets strange. Elisa begins moving in ways that look erratic, almost unnatural. She steps in and out of the elevator, hiding as if someone is following her. She gestures with her hands in odd, sweeping motions, almost like she's talking to someone invisible. Her fingers twist, her arms move fluidly, like she's underwater. At one point, she presses herself against the wall, then jumps back out into the hall. She looks terrified or entranced. The elevator doors remain stubbornly open. For nearly 4 minutes, the camera records her bizarre dance of fear and mystery. Then she steps out of frame. The elevator doors close. That was the last known sighting of Elisa Lam. The video went viral almost instantly. Millions of people watched, rewatched, and dissected it. Some said she was on drugs. Others claimed she was playing a game, something called the elevator game, a ritual said to open portals to other dimensions. And some swore she was possessed. But whatever the truth, one fact remained. Elisa Lam was still missing. On February 19, 2013, guests at the Cecil began complaining. The water pressure was low. The water tasted strange. Sometimes the taps ran black before clearing. Maintenance worker Santiago Lopez went to the roof to check the hotel's water tanks. He climbed up a ladder, unsealed a heavy hatch and looked inside. What he found ended the search and began the nightmare. Elisa Lam's body floated inside. She was naked. Her clothes were at the bottom of the tank. The autopsy revealed no signs of trauma, no evidence of assault, and no alcohol or drugs in her system except for her prescribed medication for bipolar disorder. The cause of death, drowning. The manner of death, accident. But nothing about it felt accidental. How had Elisa reached the water tanks at all? The rooftop was locked, accessible only by key or alarm doors. The tanks themselves were massive 8 feet tall with heavy lids. How could a 21-year-old woman have climbed inside alone? And why? Theories erupted. 1. Mental health crisis. Some argued Elisa suffered a bipolar episode. Her erratic behavior in the elevator, combined with inconsistent use of medication, may have led her to wander, climb the tanks, and fall in. 2. Foul play. Others suspected someone else was involved. Did a hotel employee with access to the roof lure her up there? Did someone know the hotel's blind spots? 3. Paranormal influence. Given the Cecil's dark history, whispers of supernatural involvement spread. The hotel had housed serial killers like Richard Ramirez. It had seen suicides, murders, and decades of despair. To many it felt cursed. 4. The conspiracy twist. Some internet sleuths noticed eerie coincidences. Around the same time Elisa vanished, Los Angeles battled an outbreak of tuberculosis. The test used to detect it? Elisa. The connection fueled wild theories of government cover-ups. No theory ever fully explained the case. And that's why, more than 10 years later, Elisa Lam's death remains one of the most haunting mysteries in modern history. The Cecil Hotel closed its doors in 2017 for renovations, later reopening as the Stay on Main. But the shadow of Elisa Lam lingers. The Netflix series Crime Scene, The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel reignited the story, sparking new waves of theories. Elisa's Tumblr page still exists, frozen in time. Her final posts read like echoes from a vanished life. Dreams, thoughts, fragments of a young woman trying to make sense of the world. The elevator video continues to chill new viewers daily. And the question remains, did Elisa Lam's death reveal something darker about the Cecil Hotel? Or about the limits of what we can ever truly know?